Hello and welcome. My name is Evgeny Rusakov and you're watching TVP World, interview from Vilnius. 4 years into war in Ukraine, the question of justice for victims remains as urgent as ever, especially amid ongoing diplomatic efforts and evolving accountability mechanisms. To discuss how victims' rights can be protected and integrated into investigative, reparations and justice processes, we are joined by Dr. Kateryna Latysh, head of the research group at Mykolas Romeris University and postdoctoral researcher in the SALVUS Project at Ghent University. Kateryna, thank you for joining us today. Glad to see you back.
Thank you. Hello, and nice to see you.
So, Kateryna, first of all, to what extent are victims' rights and reparations part of the current negotiations process between Russia and Ukraine?
It's quite a hard question because when it comes to negotiations, of course, the aggressor never wants to pay any kind of reparations. And we can see it also from the history, but also we can see it nowadays. And since the negotiations started, I think, from at least 2025, and still it's ongoing through different processes. And of course, the question of reparations for victims, it's something that Russia asked to exclude from the agenda. Of course, Ukraine insists to have this in the agreement because it's crucial to have it, especially due to the numbers of costs and overall the whole damage to Ukrainian infrastructure, critical infrastructure, and also what
simple Ukrainian citizens.
Citizens as well, because we can see the scale of the country, and we see how many people we have, how many people are suffer of that. But unfortunately, if we are talking about political level, because negotiations, it's more about political level. It's not about.
It's not part of the agenda.
No, for the moment, no.
Okay, so how are victims' interests integrated into investigative and reparations processes in practice?
In practice, in criminal procedures, victims, if they receive the procedural status, they can submit civil claim during the pre-trial or when the case came to the court. In the framework of this criminal case, they can submit civil claim and ask for reimbursement the costs for damages, including for moral damages as well. But at the same time, they can submit the claim. This is the first way how they can do it in the framework of criminal procedure. If we are talking about, for example, war crime, when civil object was targeted and victims has these damages. So this is the first way. And the second way, they can just submit the claim, the civil claim in a general way. And the third way, Council of Europe, they create already the mechanism, register of damages. It's situated in The Hague. It's already working for at least 1 year. And also any victim can submit claim over there for this register. So basically there are several ways how to address these questions for the victims in a formal way.
Okay.
But I think that also it's very interesting to receive something tangible.
How effective are those ways?
Exactly. So this is something that you need to do anyway. But when it comes to how to get money, actually, how to get reparations from that, over here we can see a lot of gaps, because we need to take money for that from Russia, from aggressor state. And we can see, for example, just recently in Brussels, there was a discussion about the assets, Russian assets, and Brussels asked for the guarantees if they vote, and then who will help them if Russia can beg for regress, let's say like this. So this is something that very problematic. At the same time, another case that I can give you, when, for example, victim has a court decision already about the costs, about the reparations, then how they can receive this money, and they can using mutual legal assistance. Can ask another country, for example, Lithuania. And I know this case when one of the victims, they submit the claim to Lithuanian court. They have damaged property in Ukraine due to Russian aggression.
What kind of role does Lithuania play in this regard?
As long as there are some assets from Russia in Lithuania,
okay.
Yeah, we can use this also mechanism.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Lithuanian court should approve this claim. So.
Okay. Clear with that. Okay, let's come back again to Russia, to what you've said in the very beginning. So if Russia refuses to acknowledge responsibility or pay reparations, so what other legal or political mechanisms remain available, and what role should international organizations play in this regard?
I would like to start maybe with the ICC, most probably because they have trust fund for victims, but it deals only with individuals. So it's not about state, for example, Ukraine, and they have very limited budget. So this is something kind of maybe more like symbolic one, but they can pay some reparations for individual victims. It's not about state responsibility. This is the first way. The second way, it's more about this mechanism from Council of Europe, but again we need to think where to have money. So again the same problem. And basically from the legal perspective, again different courts, but again how to reinforce this decision. This is also the problem. And then the last way left is only political way. Political way when we have sanctions, when we have political pressure to pay these reparations. So basically this is a very hard question. And
it is.
Yes,
is indeed.
And for that reason, I think also that we have it, this open question during the negotiations now.
What mechanisms exist to ensure accountability of alleged perpetrators, especially if they remain outside of Ukraine?
Again, it's more about, of course, we can say about universal jurisdiction and
ICC.
ICC as well, and but it's very important to have perpetrator in present. Yes, of course, we have trials in absentia, and we can see from other wars, from other conflicts that sometimes, but it's more like exceptions. This is also one of the ways how to ensure this accountability using the help or legal help of different countries, because to put everything only on ICC, it's impossible because they have very limited capacity, very limited resources. So it's only about some big fishes, let's say like this. Like Putin, we know about this big case in the ICC and Maria Lvova.
Again, Putin, he visited Mongolia, and then he visited USA, for example, in Alaska, and looks like ICC is there, but it isn't there. So what's the problem here then?
The problem is also, as long as you mention also the US, we can see also that just recently US also put sanctions on the head of the prosecutor's office of ICC, Karim Khan. So this is also some kind of political question how to enforce. And as long as we don't have this very good enforcement mechanisms, this is also the gap, because we need to have will from other countries.
Political will, first of all.
Yeah, exactly. This is the cornerstone of the whole international law order, I would say, because otherwise it will not work. we don't have any enforcement mechanisms to ensure that international law works.
I want to ask you this. So what is the role of digital technologies in improving access to justice? And could you share some examples?
With digital technologies, we can have access to the victim's testimony in a better way, because victims, they are not situated on the territory where national law enforcement bodies, for example, can interrogate them, can help them. And usually they are, after the crime committed, they are traveling abroad, or they can still situated on occupied territories. So then how we can take testimonies from them? So for that reason, for example, digital technologies can be used. The second thing also, it can help to ensure in some way victim-centered approach for victims, to make it more friendly for victims to explain their rights and other things, just to enhance, like only like addition, not of course instead of law enforcement bodies. And the third way, so the first one is access, and the second one is for investigation, because again the capacity of national law enforcement body is limited. So basically using digital technologies, we can have access to the territories in a distance, for example with satellite images and with other digital tools. And the third way, we can use AI, for example, to analyze big data, a big amount of videos, for example, with propaganda, what we see. And we also see that propaganda is using as a tool to force Russian soldiers for the war and other stuff. So and this is also the crime. So we need also to collect evidence for that. And who will do this work? Who will watch all this amount of information? So AI is also using, for example, in Ukrainian case broadly, to find the videos, the relevant videos that then can be evidence.
My final question would be about the key lessons. So what key lessons from the past 4 years should shape future efforts to protect and support victims of war?
I would say that the best way to prevent wars and any conflict is ensure accountability for all crimes, or at least for most crimes, because if you will see that the legal actions will be punishable, of course it will prevent from further actions. If we see opposite, that the law doesn't work and international community cannot cope with that, so again what we will see. So the first thing is we need to ensure accountability, that there will not be any safe haven for perpetrators, as you mentioned before, like in Mongolia, and we know that Mongolian judge is on the bench of ICC judges, ICC court, so it's also very, very important. And maybe the second thing, but not the last one, of course, it's legal framework for using digital tools to collect evidence, because we can collect a lot of information, but what will happen if it will not be admissible in the court? So again, this is something that we need to ensure with regard to legal framework to protect victims and to ensure that the collected information, collected evidence by different actors will be admissible for the court.
As far as I understand, for all of that, we need political will, right?
Yes, for sure. It's crucial to have political will and involvement of international partners.
Okay, Kateryna, so I really thank you for joining us today. I think this interview is very useful for our viewers. And thank you for joining us today, and I really hope to see you once again in our studio.
And thank you so much for these important questions.
Thank you. And I would like to remind our viewers that our guest for today was Dr. Kateryna Latysh, head of the research group at Mykolas Romeris University and postdoctoral researcher in the SALVUS Project at Ghent University. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us.